If you want your makeup to last longer, follow this step and let's proceed. I'm going to start by using my wipe to clean my face in order to remove dirt and oil. Then next, I'm going to moisturize. If your skin is oily, you just need a little amount of moisturizer. But if you have a very dry skin, you need to moisturize properly. So I have a very oily skin. I'm just applying a little, making sure it absorbs properly into my skin. Then I'm going to allow it to dry before moving on to primer. I will be using my Makeup Magnesia to prime my face. So this would help mattify my skin. I'm just gonna apply it all over my face, avoiding the areas underneath my eye. So this is one product I love a lot because this Makeup Magnesia works like magic. If you apply it all over your face, trust me, your makeup would stay the whole day. So I'm going to make sure it dries into the skin before moving on to foundation. I'll be using this Elsa's foundation. I'm going to start by using my damp beauty sponge to blend on one side of my face, making sure it's blending well into my skin. So can you see how well blended it looks on my skin? I'm going to be locking it up with my Kiss Beauty setting spray. This would help keep foundation intact. Then I allowed it to dry before moving on to cream contour. I'll be using this Flawless Ivy Concealer in the shade 708 to contour my face. After using my brush to contour, I went ahead to use my beauty sponge to blend to avoid any harsh lines. So next is to apply my cream blush. I'll be taking the shade from my lip palette and apply it above the cheekbone and a little bit on the tip of the nose. Then I blended with my beauty sponge. If you don't like too much blush, you can just apply a little amount and you're good to go. So after blending in the blush, I'm going to go back with my contour brush to blend in between the blush and the contour to avoid any demarcation. So next is to highlight the face. I'll be highlighting my face with my Elegant Pro Concealer in the shade Creamy Beige. So I'm applying the concealer on the places I want to highlight, and a little concealer goes a long way, after which I blended with my beauty sponge. So I'm going to use the side I used to apply my cream blush to blend in between the blush and the highlight to avoid any harsh lines. Then next I'm going to contour my nose with the same shade I used to contour my face. So I first of all used a flat brush to apply before blending with my beauty sponge to avoid any harsh lines. So next is to set the concealer. I'll be using this Tehila setting powder. Before setting, I went back to blend the areas underneath my eyes to avoid creasing. So next is to set. I do not like to pack too much setting powder. A little setting powder goes a long way. So next is to set the rest of my face. I'll be using this Hega and Esther powder. This is my exact powder shade. The reason why I didn't open it is because it's broken. I didn't want it to pour. I just used my powder brush to set the rest of my face. Then after that, I'm going to be doing my dry contouring, which is low light contouring. I will be taking a darker shade of powder from my Blend Brilliant powder palette to set the cream contour that I did earlier. And I'm going to contour the nose as well with the same shade that I used to contour the face to contour the nose. Then after that, I'm going to apply my powder blush. I'll be taking this shade from my Cheesecake blush palette and apply it above the cheekbone, just exactly the place I applied my cream blush. Then I went back on my powder brush to blend everything together to make sure everything is well blended. Then next, I'm going to be dusting off the excess powder on the areas underneath the eyes, after which I set my face with my Kiss Beauty Setting Spray. This will help reduce the powder effect and also help all the products absorb properly into my skin. Then I'm going to make sure it dries into my skin before moving on to baking. So for baking, I'll be using the same setting powder that I used to set the face to bake the face. Moving on to the brows, I'm going to be applying a little of my brow tamer on my brows just to lay my brows nicely, and I'm using my spoolie brush to do this. So if you don't have a brow tamer, you can make use of your hair wax or your lash glue. Then after that, I'm going to use the leftover setting powder from the beauty sponge to damp to avoid it being oily. Then I moved over to do my eyes. I'll be applying my Vent eyeshadow primer on my eyelid before applying eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna blend it in. Next, I'm going to be taking the shade of eyeshadow from my Blossom eyeshadow palette. I'm going to start by applying it from the outer corner of my eyelid, then gently blend it into my crease. Then I did the other eyes as well, following the same method. So I'm going to use a different eyeshadow brush to blend the edges to avoid any harsh lines. Then I did the other eyes as well, following the same method. So I'm going to go back with that brush I used to apply my eyeshadow primer. I went back using it to blend the inner corner of my eyelid. Then afterwards, I'm going to be taking that yellow color from my Blossom eyeshadow palette. I'm going to gently place it, like tap it in on the inner corner of my eyelid. After that, I went back with the eyeshadow brush that I used to apply this eyeshadow. Went back using it to blend so there won't be any harsh lines. I'm just blending, making sure it's blending well into the eyelid. Then after that, I'm going to be lining my upper and lower lash line with my Carrot gel liner. This part is the most difficult part for me whenever I'm doing my makeup, because I have a very sensitive eyes. It doesn't even let me wear lashes. So after lining my upper and lower lash line, I'm going to be enhancing my natural lashes with my Zara mascara in order to give it volume. So I'm going to be applying a lighter shade of powder on the outer corner of my eyelid, and I'm using this Zara powder. So I'm just going to take a little to define my eyelid. This would help lift my face up. The next, I'm going to be doing my brows. I'll be using this Carrot gel liner, the brown shade, to outline my brows. I started by outlining my brows. I did start from the beginning because I have a very full brows. There's no need for me to start from the beginning. All I need to do is just to outline and fill up only on the scanty areas. So next is to highlight my brows with concealer. I'll be using the same concealer that I used to highlight the face to highlight the brows. I started from my brow bone because that's where you should start, especially if you do your eyeshadow first. So just apply a little concealer to highlight. You don't need to pack too much concealer. Then I blended immediately with my blending brush. If you leave the concealer, it will dry and look tacky. So when you highlight, you blend so that it doesn't dry up. And I blended the other eyes as well. So I do not like to highlight the top of my brows because that's how I do my own makeup. So I'm going to be setting the concealer with a lighter shade of powder. If you don't set the concealer, it would be oily. Then after that, I went back with that eyeshadow blending brush that I used to blend the eyeshadow. I went back using it to blend to avoid any harsh lines. So next, I'm going to be wearing this lip. I started by outlining my lip with this Liban Beauty lip stain. I think this is coffee or peach or coffee. I can't remember the name. After outlining, I'm going to be using my Avoir lip stain. This is like a light pink. I'm going to be applying it in the middle, then blended it. So I'm going to be enhancing my lower lashes with the same Zara mascara in order to give it volume. Then next, I'm going to be applying more blush above my cheekbone because me personally, I love blush. But if you're not the blush type, you don't need to apply more blush. You just need to blend. Then I went back with my contour brush to blend the faces I contoured, making sure everything is well blended. And I dusted off the reverse contour, making sure there are no harsh lines. I'm going to go back to touch my nose again. So if you're doing your makeup and you feel like you want to, there's something is not okay, you can go back to reapply. It's not a problem. Then after that, I'm going to just gently dust off the excess setting powder on the areas underneath my eyes. Then after that, I'm going to be applying this eye stuff underneath my waterline, just a little. It's a golden color. I don't know what I was thinking. I just let me apply it there. Then after that, I'm going to go back with my powder brush to blend everything together. Then next, I'm going to be setting the face with my Keys Beauty setting spray. Then I'm going to let it dry into my skin. So I'll be using my fan to dry it. After that, I'm going to be applying my highlighter. I'll be taking this shade here from my Tehila highlighter and blush palettes. I'm just going to apply it on the places I want the highlight to pop. Just a little and I'm good to go. So next, I'm going to be applying my Miss Metty cheek glaze a little just to make my face to glow. So I'm just applying it above my cheekbone. And I used my eyeshadow blending brush to blend in between my eyeshadow and my highlighter on my brow bone. Then I'm going to be setting the face for the last time. Allowed it to dry before applying my lip gloss on my lip. And guys, we are done. This is the finished look. Very simple look. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.